Today we're diving into a topic that's not only fascinating from a historical standpoint, but also incredibly practical for modern life. We're going deep into the heart of survival, taking a page from the oldest playbook there is, history itself. Long before supermarkets or the internet, our ancestors thrived in conditions that would make even the toughest soul think twice. They faced down famines, wars, natural disasters, and they didn't just survive, they learned, they adapted, they created solutions. We're going to talk about what history can teach us about prepping, about how to prepare ourselves, our families, and our communities for times of uncertainty and hardship. It's about tapping into that ancient human instinct to survive, to be resourceful, to be ready for whatever's thrown our way. We're going to strip away the fancy gadgets and get back to basics, exploring the tried and tested techniques that have carried generations through thick and thin. Out here in the wild, resourcefulness is the difference between making it back and, well, not. Ancient civilizations like the Romans and the Mayans knew this well. The Romans, with their aqueducts, secured water for the long haul. The Mayans, deep in the jungles of Central America, developed sophisticated agricultural systems. They used raised fields to combat flooding, terraced hillsides to prevent erosion, and mastered crop rotation. These guys were the original sustainability experts. It's about the mindset, about thinking long-term, about not taking resources for granted, catching rainwater, building up your soil. These practices aren't just about going green, they're about creating resilience. It's about respecting the land that sustains us and learning to live in harmony with it. The Romans and the Mayans lived this ethos, and their legacy is a powerful reminder that by working with nature, by planning ahead, we can not only survive but thrive. Embrace it, adapt it to your own life, and you'll be well on your way to creating a more resilient future for yourself and your loved ones. History, it's a brutal teacher, and few periods illustrate that better than the medieval era. The Black Death, a pandemic so devastating it wiped out a third of Europe's population. Villages decimated, fear running rampant, it was a true test of human resilience. But amidst the chaos, communities found ways to cope, to survive. They relied on herbal remedies, passed down through generations, to treat the sick. They established quarantine measures, isolating the infected to prevent the disease's spread. Imagine a scenario where supply chains are disrupted, where access to medicine is limited. Knowing which plants in your backyard can soothe a fever or treat an infection, that's invaluable knowledge. During times of famine, communities came together, sharing what little food they had, creating mutual aid networks. It's about being prepared, about having a plan, about knowing how to access essential supplies, and fostering a sense of community. We're learning from indigenous communities, the original survival experts. They live in harmony with nature, passing down knowledge through generations, identifying edible plants, understanding natural rhythms, mastering fire starting, preserving food like drying meat to create jerky. It's about connecting with nature, learning its secrets, and developing essential skills. Let's talk about grit, determination, the kind of spirit that built nations. The American Homesteaders, those pioneers who ventured west, braving harsh landscapes and unforgiving conditions to carve out a life for themselves. These were men and women who knew the meaning of self-reliance, who built their homesteads from the ground up. One of their most ingenious inventions was the root cellar, a subterranean storehouse perfect for preserving fruits and vegetables. And talk about DIY skills. These folks were the ultimate jacks of all trades. They built their own homes, crafted their own tools, repaired their own clothes. When money was scarce, communities relied on trading goods and services. The homesteaders embody the spirit of self-reliance, of resourcefulness, of community. They remind us that with hard work, determination, and a healthy dose of ingenuity, we can overcome even the most daunting challenges. We're journeying back to the 1930s now, to the Great Depression, a time when hardship and scarcity tested the spirit of a nation. But amidst the struggle, a remarkable resilience emerged, a spirit of frugality, creativity, and a waste-nothing mindset. Clothes were mended and remended until they were threadbare, scraps of fabric became quilts, worn-out tires transformed into sturdy shoes, food took on a whole new meaning, leftovers were transformed into hearty soups and stews, stale bread became bread pudding. Community gardens flourished, transforming vacant lots into green spaces that provided fresh produce for families. The lessons of the Great Depression teach us the value of frugality, of creativity, of community. They remind us that we have more strength than we realize. By embracing these timeless principles, we can weather any storm. We're in the 1940s now, the world engulfed in war. Rationing became a way of life, with families making do with limited supplies. But it was also a time of incredible resourcefulness. People learned to cook with what they had, stretching ingredients, creating innovative recipes. And then there were the victory gardens, these incredible testaments to human resilience. Across the nation, backyards, rooftops, even empty lots were transformed into thriving gardens. It was about taking control, about contributing to the war effort, about proving that even in the face of adversity, life and hope could flourish. The lessons of World War II are about the power of collective action, of community spirit. They remind us that even when times are tough, we can find ways to thrive, to support one another, and to build a more resilient future. The Cold War, a time of geopolitical tension, of looming threats, of the ever-present fear of nuclear war, it was a time when communities across the globe prepared for the unthinkable, building fallout shelters, stocking up on supplies, and engaging in civil defense drills. But here's the thing. It wasn't just about building bunkers and hoarding supplies, it was about mental preparedness. Imagine the discipline it took to participate in those drills, to mentally prepare for a scenario that no one wanted to imagine. It was about facing fear, about accepting the possibility of disaster, and about developing the mental fortitude to persevere. The lessons of the Cold War era are about developing the mental and emotional resilience to face any challenge. They're about staying calm under pressure, and emerging from adversity stronger than ever. We've journeyed through history, exploring the ingenuity and resilience of those who came before us. Now, it's about taking that wisdom, those hard-won lessons, and applying them to our modern lives. While the threats we face today might be different, the fundamental principles of preparedness remain the same. We've got technology on our side now, incredible tools and resources that our ancestors could only dream of. But technology is only as good as the person using it. It's about understanding the limitations of technology, about having backup plans, about knowing how to survive when the grid goes down. We can combine ancient practices with modern technology to create a robust prepping strategy. It's about using every tool at our disposal to create a safer, more resilient future for ourselves and our loved ones. Now, let's delve into some more advanced prepping techniques, those skills that go beyond the basics. We're talking about creating hidden caches, mastering the art of fermentation, and becoming guardians of heirloom seeds. Imagine this. You've got a secret stash, an underground cache stocked with essential supplies. Fermentation, it's an ancient art, a way of preserving food that not only extends its shelf life but also enhances its nutritional value. And then there are seeds, those tiny vessels of life that hold the potential for future harvests. Saving heirloom seeds is about preserving biodiversity, about ensuring that we have access to resilient, adaptable crops. These might seem like advanced skills, but they're within reach for anyone willing to learn. We've covered a lot of ground from ancient wisdom to modern technology, but here's the thing about survival. It's not a solo mission, it's about community, about coming together, about supporting one another through thick and thin. Throughout history, the most resilient communities have been those with strong social bonds. It's about building those connections now, before disaster strikes. Get to know your neighbors, organize community events, create a network of support, share your skills, teach others, learn from others, and build a community that's stronger together. In the end, survival isn't just about having the right gear or the right skills, it's about having the right people by your side. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through history's prepping wisdom. We've trekked through ancient civilizations, weathered storms with pioneers, and learned from the resilience of generations past. These skills, this knowledge, it's our inheritance, a gift passed down from those who came before us. Stay curious, keep learning, and remember, you're part of a long line of survivors. Embrace the challenges, adapt to the unexpected, and never underestimate the power of human ingenuity and community. Until next time, take care and be prepared.